All right. So if you're a beginner at music theory, to make better guitar melodies, you have to have the right articulation. Don't worry about the right plug and the right sound. Worry about the right articulation or the way to express a note. For example, if I don't load up the strummer instrument in Omnisphere's Nylon Sky, you won't get the same sound. The strummer is built to have to mimic the way somebody's strumming up and down the strings. So for example, we can map out chords. Let's try a minor ninth chord. Very good chord for a guitar. And what we'll do here is hit Alt G and take out what's called the seventh. So this is called a D minor add 9 chord. Okay, and then we can copy this and hit Shift to pull it down. Now in this case, we want to change this third, pull it up one. Now let's make it's called a 2-5-1. We teach all this in our Music Theory Magic course at busyworksbeats.com/music theory magic. I just want to show you how important it is to pick the right articulation. If I played the same thing in a simple nylon guitar plugin, it wouldn't give me the same vibe because it doesn't play like a real guitar. So now we're going to create what's called a dominant ninth. This is why making melodies is so important in learning chords. Chords are so important in making melodies because they create the foundation. So now let's create a 2-5-1. And let's map it out. And then let's even change up this chord. Let's switch it to maybe an augmented. Okay, now let's copy the same plugin, which is Omnisphere in this case, and we're going to switch out the sound articulation library. So now we're going to pick a nylon guitar that is not meant to be strummed, strummed. Okay, so let's go to just the nylon clean guitar. I'll play the same exact thing. We're not going to get the same vibe because it's not built to be plucked. Okay, it's just built for singular notes for the most part. Now, it sounds cool, but it's not the same thing. Okay, so that's the first principle, is to understand articulation and expression before you get into all the melodic technique. When we're using virtual instruments, we have to sound like a real player on a real instrument. It's half the battle sometimes. Okay, now that we have that strumming in the background, let's go back to this nylon guitar. Great melodic instrument you guys can use are stringed instruments, guitar, piano, violins, anything with a string bass, the way the ratios are set up for the notes. Okay, so once you have the notes laid out, again, I'll teach all this stuff in Music Theory Magic right at busyworksbeats.com/music theory magic, because I go in depth about this stuff. So I don't have time here to explain everything I teach in that course, but it just came out. So what we're going to do is use these chords as a structure to help us with the melody. Okay, so basically a guideline. Okay, now I'm creating this melody this way because it's going to give us space. Okay, and then we can go back and alter some of these sounds. So generally speaking, the harmony gives you structure. Okay, and then you want to create a general structure for your melody and then go in and add the fine details later. Same way you would a beat. You don't write the fine details right away all the time. So let's give it more of a rhythm. See how that simple change of rhythm adds a vibe? Now here I get away with the half step because we use the half step in the fifth. Okay, so velocity is also key for your melodies. This velocity is a little loud. Now what I'll do is I'll accent certain notes. So it goes like that. We're going to add what's called a hammer-on, or a legato, glissando, I'll say. Okay, now in this plugin specifically, you can set hammer-ons. Now, every plugin is completely different. So not every plugin even has a hammer-on. But what a hammer-on is a pitch bend. It goes like, and it comes back down most of the time. Okay, so it goes like, dun, 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 but it's like, instead of dun, 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 it goes dun, dun, like that. I know I'm out of key, but that's what a hammer-on is with a real guitar. So some plugins have that, some don't. So again, it starts with the expression first. And I found that Kontakt libraries generally sample a lot of the expression. So if you struggle with the sound, try looking into Kontakt libraries, because those are the ones that usually have those deep, deep samples, whereas other plugins don't really have that much detail. Because now we're adding the fine details. And I'm going to get a little advanced here, but I'm just showing you guys what we could do. We could add a fifth of the fifth. Okay, just add more. More color in here. Okay, so now you can see where we're piecing this together almost like a drum loop. My ear wants to hear it go up. This is one instrument. We don't need 1,000 instruments. It's about expression and articulation. I could go deeper, but I just wanted to give you the basic beginner principles. If you want to learn more of the advanced stuff, just go to busyworksbeats.com/musictheorymagic, because in that course, I'm going to guide you through advanced stuff like the type of chords you're going to use for the foundation, the melodic intervallic resolution it's called, to make sure your melodies wrap up and go to the right interval. There's a lot of deep detail. Just go to busyworksbeats.com/musictheorymagic. I'll see you guys there. Peace.